Welcome to video number 5 for the MCQs for renal diseases. So let's start with our case number 1. A 40-year-old male presents to your department with complaints of fever, chills and pain on urination. He feels that initially the fever was low but now it has become higher. He has tried Tylenol, which helped him a little. His past medical history is significant for kidney stones, for which he had extracorporeal shock wave lithotripsy 4 weeks ago. He has no known drug allergies. His family history is only significant for a father who had kidney stones. His temperature is 39.1 degree, BP 110 by 65, pulse 90 per minute and respirations 19 per minute. Unilateral costovertebral angle tenderness is found on percussion of the left flank region. Further investigation, inspiration and expiration films are ordered and it showed that kidney is fixed and does not move with respiration. So the patient is with fevers, chills, pain on urination and he has extracorporeal shock wave lithotripsy 4 weeks ago. He has fever and tachycardia, tachypnea and unilateral costovertebral angle tenderness in the left kidney region, and there is about Methe sign, which is when kidney we do inspiration and expiration films were ordered, which showed patient's kidney is fixed because normally kidney moves 2 to 6 centimeter with respiration, but here it does not move. So it is about Methe sign, which is positive in this patient. So this whole case is about the perinephric abscess, in which the Methe sign is positive and costovertebral angle tenderness is positive and fever, chills and pain on urination. Which of the following investigational studies would best confirm the diagnosis and tailor the management plan accordingly? So the best is abdominal CT scan, because CT scanning is the diagnostic modality of choice because it is more sensitive and accurate in diagnosing an intra-abdominal abscess than ultrasonography. It is also helpful in deciding further management for this patient because it tells about precise location, size, degree and extent of the loculation in relation to other retroperitoneal structures. This information is important to proceed with percutaneous abscess drainage and most likely treatment for perinephric abscess. But Methe sign is positive and has 85% specificity in establishing the presence of perinephric abscess, but it is not sufficient to proceed with the treatment. To able to do so, we need to define its precise location, size and extent of the loculation. So CT scan is best choice for the perinephric abscess. Case number 2. A 48-year-old female with type 2 diabetes has been hospitalized for 4 days with persistent fever. Her diabetes has been controlled with diet and glyburide. You saw her 2 weeks ago in office with urinary frequency, urgency and dysuria. At that time, a urinalysis showed 25 WBCs and a urine culture subsequently grew E. coli sensitive to all antibiotics. She was placed on trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole empirically, and this was continued after the cultures were reported. She improved over the next week but then developed flank pain again, fever to 39.5 degree, nausea and vomiting, and she was hospitalized and IV cefazolin and gentamicin were started while blood and urine cultures were performed. The urine culture also grew E. coli sensitive to current antibiotics and her temperature has continued to spike 39.5 degrees since admission without any change in her symptoms. So this patient had persistent fever and he got the antibiotic treatment but again developed flank pain and fever. So this again points towards perinephric abscess. So the clinical features may be quite variable and most useful predictive factor in distinguishing uncomplicated pyelonephritis from perinephric abscess, and the most distinguishing feature will be the persistence of fever for more than 4 days even after initiation of antibiotic therapy. So the question is asking about which of the following would be most appropriate at this time. Add vancomycin, order a radionuclide renal scan, or order IV pyelography, or order a urine culture, or order CT of the abdomen. So we suspect that it is perinephric abscess. So we know the best modality, the next step will be order CT of the abdomen, because it will also guide towards the treatment. So the radiological study of choice is CT. This can detect perirenal fluid enlargement of the psoas muscle. Both are highly suggestive of the diagnosis, and perirenal gas, which is diagnostic. And the sensitivity and specificity of the CT is significantly greater than that of either ultrasound or IV pyelography. The next case is a 34-year-old woman presents with 3-day history of increasing fever, chills, sweats, nausea, and 2 episodes of vomiting. On examination, she has costovertebral angle tenderness, means the chills, sweats, nausea are linked with the renal system, and the urine reveals gross pyuria. So the problem is with kidney. So we suspect here fever, chills, nausea. We suspect pyelonephritis. So the question states initial management should include. So the initial management will be empirical treatment with antibiotics and imaging only if she fails to respond to therapy. So pyelonephritis is actually a bacterial infection of one or both kidneys, and the infection can spread up the urinary tract to kidneys, and kidneys may become infected through bacteria in the bloodstream. Chills, fever, back pain, nausea, and vomiting can occur. Symptoms of pyelonephritis often begin suddenly with chills, fever, pain in the lower part of the back or on the either side, and nausea and vomiting also accompanies. Urine and sometimes blood tests are done to diagnose pyelonephritis, and antibiotics are given to treat the infection. Imaging we do only if the patient doesn't respond to the antibiotic treatment. Next question. A 46-year-old man comes to the emergency department because of excruciating left flank pain that radiates to his left testicle. On physical examination, he is extremely restless and is in obvious pain. So the pain that is excruciating and radiate from left flank to groin region, so it is mostly the nephrolithiasis pain. So genitalia are normal, abdominal examination is normal except for intermittent guarding with spasms of pain. Plain X-ray of the abdomen is normal. Urinalysis and urinary sediments are pH 6.5, specific gravity 1.025, glucose negative, protein negative. The most appropriate diagnostic study is, so the best diagnostic study is CT scan of the abdomen, because the patient's clinical description is consistent with acute renal colic from nephrolithiasis, and the stone is more likely to be in the ureter because the pain is radiating to his groin region. A CT scan of the abdomen is the most appropriate of the tests listed to find a ureteral stone. CT scan of the kidney is not going to be the most helpful because the calculi are within the urinary tract. So CT scan of the kidney is not the answer of choice because the stone is not necessarily within the kidneys, because there is no description of dysuria, frequency or burning, and there is no fever described. This would also go against the need for any culture of the urine because no dysuria, no frequency of burning. Although evaluation for causes of crystalluria and kidney stones may be indicated in this patient with nephrolithiasis, this is premature since we have not even found a stone yet to confirm the diagnosis. So CT scan is the best option to diagnose the stones in the urinary tract. Now the next question is 28-year-old male who is known by your department for heroin abuse. So the patient is known for heroin abuse, presents with complaints of severe abdominal pain that radiates to groin. He has elevated blood pressure, tachycardia, tachypnea, and macroscopic hematuria. He appears in acute distress, has no visible trauma, and refuses physical examination because of the extreme pain. So these all findings are supportive and suggested for kidney stones. Which of the following option is best next step in the management of this patient? So the patient should have high dose analgesics despite the fact that he is a narcotic abuser, because the patients have elevated blood pressure, tachycardia, tachypnea, and severe abdominal pain that radiates to the groin. So he is unlikely to be the product of malingering. So we should make the presumptive diagnosis of nephrolithiasis and the patient receive analgesia. Telling the patient that you won't be able to treat is unethical, and going to radiology room for abdominal CT or abdominal ultrasound to diagnose his condition is also not the best answer, because first of all he should be given the pain relief because the pain is so much excruciating, and oral codeine is for mild to moderate pain, but the patient is in severe pain, so she should be offered high dose analgesics. The next question is 38-year-old man previously in good health suddenly develops severe abdominal pain radiating to left groin. Again, the pain is from abdomen to left groin and associated with nausea, perspiration, and the need for frequent urination. He is restless, tossing in bed, but has no abdominal findings. Which of the following is the most likely diagnosis? So we know this is left ureteral calculus, and urinary calculi are solid particles in the urinary symptoms, and they typically present with excruciating and intermittent, often occurs cyclic pain and last 20 to 60 minutes. Nausea and vomiting are common, and pain in the flank or kidney that radiates across the abdomen suggest upper ureteral stone, or the pain that radiates along the course of the ureter to the genital region suggests the lower ureteral obstruction. In these cases, patients are unable to lie still and may constantly shift the position and also tender on the affected side as palpation increases the pressure in the already distended ureter. But these patients will have no peritoneal signs like guarding, rebound, rigidity. These are lacking. And in some patients, the first symptom of urolithiasis will be hematuria, either a gravel or a calculus in the urine, or in some patients urinary tract infection may be the first symptom, such as fever, dysuria, or cloudy or foul smelling urine. The next question, 45-year-old white male presents with severe intermittent right flank pain that radiates into his right groin area. You suspect ureteral calculus. Which of the following most reliably confirm your diagnosis? So the most best study for confirming the diagnosis of a urinary tract stone with a patient with acute flank pain will be a helical CT scan of the abdomen and pelvis without contrast, because it will also reveal other pathologies if there will, like appendicitis, diverticulitis, or abdominal aortic aneurysms. So abdominal ultrasound, it also has a very high specificity, but it is still not better than CT scan. At its sensitivity is much lower, thus its use is usually confined to pregnant patients with a suspected stone. And plain abdominal radiographs, these are also not the best option because they may show the stone if it is radiopaque and are useful for the patients with radiopaque stones. But the CT will show mostly all stones clearly. And also the patients with stones have hematuria on urinalysis, but its absence does not rule out a stone. So thank you very much. Hope you have cleared all the topic which we have discussed in MCQs, the perinephric abscess, pyelonephritis, and the renal stones. Thank you.